Okay, so here's the update. This trip is not going as planned. I'm still enjoying it. We're still having a great time. And my daughter is actually now in really good spirits, but I don't know. It's not the same. She's really sick. I'm really sick. Anyway, she brought something home from daycare. It was kind of going around. I don't know that she gave me that exact thing. We will find out, I'm sure. But I woke up today with a very vicious sore throat, and now I've just got like full body aches, and I'm getting the chills, so that's awesome. So I'm going to turn in for the night. I'm going to grab some pajamas, like full pajamas, and I'd sleep in Lucky because it's actually nice and warm in here. Because it was another just hot day. But I'm still going to sleep in the basement, so I'm closer to my kiddo. I don't know that I'm going to get to that ceiling fan. That stinks unless I have a miracle strike and I wake up tomorrow feeling much, much better. But this kind of stuff, it just happens. It just, it's kind of a hard pill to swallow when it's like the 2 times I took my daughter out this summer and I'm feeling like crap both times and now she's feeling like crap this time. It's just, what can you do? But that's where that's at. I'm going to go to bed. It's like 8 o'clock. I'm done with today. All right, and it is the next day. I am just on my lunch break at work. For those that might not know, I work a full-time job at a garage here in Calgary, working as a apprentice mechanic. So now it is lunchtime, and I'm going to do up myself some chicken quesadillas because they are super simple and very tasty. Then after lunch, it's not a very busy time in July is kind of what I'm learning, especially for the automotive trade. We've got a service on one vehicle. There's just like an oil change and an inspection, and it'll probably be an early day unless we get any sort of surprise stuff in. And then I will be heading off to just do my final bit of prepping for my trip that's coming up. I'll need to go get some cat litter and some final groceries. I need to fix the air in my tires and that sort of thing. And then try to get a good night's sleep because my hope is to get on the road bright and early in the morning. When you're traveling for about 6 to 7 hours with a toddler, the earlier you can get that started, the better, let me tell you, because you're gonna have to stop and take multiple breaks. All right, so I got some butter melting away in my pan here on the jet boiled Genesis, or I guess I should say half-gen stove. Tortilla on the butter, and then where did we put the cheese? On the driver's seat, because that's where you put cheese when you're cooking in your tiny home on your lunch break. Some cheese in there. Make this one extra cheesy. This is basically not, well, I guess kind of leftovers, but not really because I didn't cook everything up yesterday. But I did this for you lunch yesterday as well. Now I'm just making sure I use it up so nothing goes bad in the fridge. All right, so we're gonna let that begin to melt. Grab some chicken. Same thing, I'm just using this pre-cooked buffalo style chicken. I think I got this one at Walmart. Seen it at Superstore and Safeway as well. Way easier to work with than like whole raw chicken breasts. This is gonna be a very chickeny chicken quesadilla. That's a butter nub, don't worry about it. Oh, yep. Super simple, delicious lunch. Yeah, tasty. Just as good as it was yesterday. You're very close to me right now. All right, I'm gonna finish this up, get back into the shop, finish up the work, and then we go on. Finish up planning for the trip. This is just a vlog of finishing a whole bunch of stuff. And I am all done work for the day. So now before I get to doing that running around and just finishing things up before I can hopefully have a good night's sleep for the long drive tomorrow, I'm gonna go have a shower and clean this up so it's a little bit more in accordance with the temperatures that I'm gonna be experiencing on this trip. Haha, little bit more seasonally appropriate. In case you can't tell, I really trimmed up the beard, which I guess it wasn't really a beard, it was more like a very heavy 5 o'clock shadow, and now it's a lighter one. And now I'm in a little bit of a rush because I was over at my cousin's place doing some last minute laundry before the trip. May have fallen asleep in the cool basement while waiting for said laundry. And now I'm actually on my way back to my mailbox to pick up a package before they close so that I have a little bit of a project to do. Keep your hands on the wheel, Matt, while I'm in BC. Finishing stuff up! Next large package. Yikes! Nope. Excited for that. I can't see you. Everyone and their bloody dog in this tiny little parking lot tonight. All right. Made it with 2 minutes to spare. Not so bad. Put lucky and drive, Matt. All right. So, first stop to finish stuff off. Canadian Tire. We need wood pellets for the cat's litter, some rocker guard panel rubberized spray paint for a project, if I have enough left on the gift card from one of my very generous subscribers. Thank you, Jackie. Possibly some new windshield wipers for Lucky, because it's been over a year with them, and they're, you know, a little meh. Let's go shopping. Yeah. Apparently this shopping cart has been sold. This one's zip tied. I'm gonna take the sold one. How many times does that happen? You get to the register, the self-checkout, and you gotta open up the app for whatever store you're in. Oh, it needs to update. All right, next up, car wash. All right, made it to our first pit stop at the Kicking Horse rest stop, I guess. We are officially in BC. You having a good trip? Yeah, you're doing real good. Where are we going? Yeah, who's there? Who are we going to see? Mama. That's right. So I am currently in BC. I'm out here on basically my vacation with my daughter. We're staying at her grandparents, my parents. She's currently napping, and this vlog will be very similar in style to the videos that I filmed last September on my Labor Day trip, where I brought her out to her uncle's farm, which we call Sanctuary. It's hot. It's been hot in Alberta, like in Calgary where I usually am, but it is on another world hot here right now. Thank goodness her room is in the basement, so it's nice and cool down there. Lucky is a no-go zone right now, let's just put it that way. Stella and Penny are actually in the basement as well, and they're living the lap of luxury inside. I've had my big fan going in Lucky on exhaust to just help it from getting too insanely warm. And I'm just going to enjoy this trip. That's the main goal, of course, but I will film a little bit of something. It'll just kind of be highlights from here and there. And I do plan on doing a few upgrades to Lucky. I don't know if this is locked. Oh, I'm so secure. There's a couple things I'd like to get done while I'm here. Number one, I actually had a subscriber of mine send me another Max Air fan, and my plan is to install it right here above my bed. So then between the two fans, we can get some nice cross breeze action happening. That will require sawing another 14 by 14 inch hole in Lucky's roof. Like I said, it's a little hot and my little girl's napping right now, so I don't really feel like doing that kind of labor or making that much noise. The other thing I'd like to do, I bought a couple cans of this rocker guard rubberized stuff, and my plan is, again, weather and level of arrest dependent, I'm gonna clean up Lucky's hood. As this is happening, this is notorious with the Chevy Expresses. Their hoods always flake off and they inevitably rust. You can actually see some rust spots starting here. I want to grind this all down with my grind wheel that attaches to the drill. And then we are going to give Lucky? No. It's hot. We're going to give Lucky a little bit of a facelift, and we're going to rubberize this and give her a black hood. I don't mind that look. It's way easier than just trying to redo this hood with spray paint. I actually already did that once when I first got her during my build series, and as you can see, I clearly did a very good job. I'm gonna black out that. And there's something else I wanted to do, but I can't remember what it is. So, and now I've decided, before I get to any of that, I'm gonna try to fix the steering on my boat, because when we were here in May and we had it on the lake, it was fine, but it was turning a lot easier one way than it was the other way. So, like most things that I've done on my channel when it comes to my van build, looked up a quick video on YouTube last night on how to do it, and apparently I just had to loosen this little nut here, and then we're going to come over here, we're going to do this big nut here, and this whole cable should come out. And then if I can kind of clean that up and then spray it down with some white lithium grease, which I have in Lucky, we should be in business. So let's find out. Hi, are you eating all those blueberries? More? You picked them all and ate them all? Let me see. Can I see? Excuse me. Where are the blueberries? Did you eat them all? You did, didn't you? We got more in the house. You gonna go play in the park over there? Yeah, with Grandma? You gonna come see what I'm doing? I'm taking the boat apart. Might never float again. Well, there's Grandma. Now she's on YouTube.
Oh, hi! Grandma's on YouTube, I'm gonna spray you.
Of course, the rod is probably rusted in there. Most likely the cause of my issues. So I need a hammer, which I don't have. But I do have my hatchet. I'm sure my dad has a hammer, but that should work to bludgeon it. Hope I'm doing this right, Grandpa. Nope, nuts to that. I need tools that I don't currently have on hand. Might have to go and see if I can find a nice long screwdriver somewhere, but it is rusted and seized, so the whole cable may have to be replaced. May have just disabled the boat, which is okay because it probably wasn't safe to be driving the way it was. If I get it back on the lake in this vlog, you'll know I fixed it. So now maybe what I'll do, I don't think this thunderstorm is I think it's going that way. I think I'm gonna risk it and start on the hood. Get this all cleaned up and blast down some of these rougher areas. I'm going to have to cover the windshield, headlights, bumper, front grille, and all that first. So we got all the important bits of Lucky covered: windshield, side, bumper, and whatnot. I don't have a sander, so I'm just gonna use a drill and a wire wheel, and we're just gonna do this because I'm not professional. Just want it to not rust. Although I could just buy a new hood that they can pull. That sounds like a lot of work. monitor because she's having a nap right now. Okay, I actually do have one more thing I could do before I get to this fan. That will probably not be today. I was hoping it'd be today because this is the coolest day we're gonna have while we're here. But, and as you can see, my bed's gone. It's like I'm taking advantage of the fact that I have a place to put all the foam because it's 2 pieces, it's 4 pieces. It's 4 pieces of foam that are like 2 feet by 6 feet, and then 1 big piece of memory foam that goes on top. And I don't like getting dirty or putting my bed in the bush. So all of that is in Mom and Dad's house right now because I need to do some wiring underneath my bed. I'll show you in a second. Oh, it's so much easier when there isn't a whole bunch of foam everywhere. Woof. Okay, freaky deaky Dutch. It is warm. And now I've enclosed myself in a tin can. Hang on. Okay, so actually I started this, as my Patreon supporters know. I did this fix a couple days ago on my lunch break while I was at work, because when something goes wrong with my electrical system, I need to fix it as soon as possible. And the thing that had happened was my DC to DC charger on the end that goes to the house batteries, it's fused on both sides. The fuse on the battery side kept tripping, and there's no reason that it should have been, except for the fact that it was a cheap ass fuse. So these things are the fuses that I used with my build when I first did all of this. They are hot garbage. Do not recommend. They're very easy to find on Amazon. They're cheap, and they're cheap for a darn reason. I've had to replace 2 of them so far. I should just replace the rest of them. I have 2 left. I've got this one, and I think just that one down there. They will inevitably go wrong as well, or go wrong, just stop functioning properly, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I needed to replace the fuse for my DC to DC charger, and that's what I did. So my DC to DC charger is completely fine. It's got these nice circuit breakers in them. So anyways, when I did that, I had to solder and heat shrink some new ends onto the wire that connect the charger to the circuit breaker. And one of them, when I melted the solder into the, I don't know what you call it, the ringlet, the eyelet that connects to the post, I left a little wire exposed between, you know, like the red of the wire and the ring socket. There was a little wire exposed there. I used heat shrink to cover it up, but I'm not happy with that amount being exposed. So I made another one at work. There's a nice little, and these are all nicely soldered and completely covered and then heat shrunk with professional grade heat shrink. So this is the wire I'm going to be replacing. I'm pretty sure it's the one that goes from the charger to the circuit breaker, not the circuit breaker to the batteries. So that was the other little project that I wanted to get done. So let's get it done. Yeah, can't take my shirt off. That's how hot and disgusting it is in BC right now. Granted, I'm stuffed away in my van with very little airflow. So I'm glad this is done. I'm glad the hood's painted. I'm gonna go have a shower and deal with this. Okay, so still working on the boat. I've got my steering cable completely out from behind the steering wheel, trying to remove the cable still from the back of the motor here. I guess technically that's the front of the motor, back of the boat. My confidence for getting the boat in the water on this trip is very quickly diminishing. This might be, I have to come back out here. Maybe Labor Day and work on it, just because it seems like a lot. I might need to replace the entire steering cable and as well as the helm box, I believe is what it's called behind there. Maybe it's just a power steering unit. I'm not 100% sure. It's all Greek to me. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. Okay, so here's the update. This trip is not going as planned. Okay, so I don't even know what today is. I think it's like the day before we're gonna head back to Calgary. It's hand, foot, and mouth disease is what we've been spending our summer vacation dealing with. So that's been super fun. Haven't been able to get the boat in the water, lost my glasses. But you know what? I was able to get into the lake with my little girl finally. And that made it all worth it because she had so much fun, as did I. And now I'm just going to mentally prep myself for the fact that boat will get in the water maybe in September. My plan right now is to come back hopefully over the Labor Day long weekend and we'll fix it up. I actually had some success this morning. I got what is actually called the tilt bracket out. So that's This is the pipe we've been banging on with the hammer. This part here is the end of the steering cable. I was able to cut this end of the steering cable with those big bolt cutters. And now I need to get a new tilt bracket and a new steering cable. Get it all back in here. I had to lift the engine up on a little piece of wood to sort of free up where this side meets to this side, because that through this one and then that one is where the tilt bracket runs. Anyways, this steering cable is supposed to slide inside of the tilt bracket and is completely corroded and seized. So hopefully 2 parts, we'll be able to get the boat back on the water in September. I don't know, let's find out. First time I did a fan, it was too windy. Now it's like plus 35 degrees Celsius out. And I have hand, foot, and mouth disease. I don't recommend either situation, but it's done. Okay, so I figured since I've got my whole bed out right now, and that makes it really easy to get underneath my bed, which is where my batteries are. I talk about my batteries a little bit in detail, which I haven't done in a while. And while I have an entire video on how I built this battery box and talking about my batteries and how I built this, the vent on the outside for my battery box, I haven't talked about it in a while. And channel's grown a bit, and I have seen a couple people ask what kind of batteries I'm using. Number one, I'm not like most. I don't have lithium batteries. Those are very swank and awesome, but I've got what I think are the next best things, which I guess some people would probably say. I just hit myself in the face with that. Yikes. People would probably say AGMs, but no, I've got 2 Trojan 6-volt flooded batteries set up in series to make them 12 volts complete. They're 240 amp hours, which means I've got 120 usable if you go by the rule of thumb of 50% capacity. Now people might ask, well, flooded batteries, isn't that going to be an issue in the winter? I lived through an entire winter on the prairies, got down to minus 35 degrees Celsius. I didn't have any issues. Ran my diesel heater and my lights, no problem. And the only things that I've added to the system, well, now 2 ceiling fans, which is working really nicely, and the 12-volt fridge. And of course, in the summertime, we're not using the diesel heater at all. Either way, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I haven't had any issues with my batteries. I come in here every once in a while and I visually inspect my terminals to make sure there's no corrosion or anything happening. Now, the one thing you have to do with these batteries, since they are flooded, is they're not maintenance free like so many batteries are. Like sealed AGMs, you don't have to do anything. It's kind of sort of like plug it and forget it. With these ones, you got to maintain them by keeping that water level up. It's highly recommended to use distilled water. That's why I always have a jug of distilled water on hand. Stuff also comes in handy when you need to do a saline rinse up your nose. Just saying. And you top them all up in their, what are these? Cells? I don't know. But each battery has 3 chambers where when you buy the batteries, they just come with caps that you open up. I knew I didn't want to keep doing that, filling up each one individually. They have this very handy little watering system. It's called the Flowrite, or I guess, it's flowrite.com is the website. But this thing is amazing. It's connected to all 6 of the cells. I don't know if that's right. We're just going to call them that. And then the hose, I drilled a hole in the box right here, sealed it with silicone, and then that leads to this end of the hose, which has a quick release system. And in my little garage here, hang on, everything's going to come falling out. I'm such a mess. You've got the filler holes with a squeeze bulb, and one end goes in your bottle. There it is. One end goes in the bottle of distilled water. This end, let me see if I can do this while I'm filming with one hand, connects to this. They just snap together. Let's see. And then you put the other end in the bottle of water. Pump, pump, pump. Water fills up through the hose, goes through the watering system, and fills up each cell perfectly. And when this stops squeezing and becomes really tight, you know that they're all level, and then your batteries are good to go. The reason I drilled it through the box is because before I did that, I had to do this entire thing. I had to take my bed out, fold the bed open, take the lid off of the box, and then I just had the hose sort of wrapped up in here and did it that way. which is a nightmare. Now, since it's through this hole in the box, all of this can be sealed and my entire bed can be made. I just access this hose underneath here. Makes it super convenient. It's nice to be able to just have a beer and sort of relax. I feel like this vacation definitely got away on me, which I guess it did, but not in the sense that you might think, because this vlog is very different. Normally on a trip like this, well shoot, I've been here almost 2 weeks. If everything had gone according to plan, well, if everything had gone according to plan, I wouldn't have been here for 2 weeks. It would only have been the like 5 or 6 days that were originally planned. But I would have been able to get a lot of content, probably 5 or 6 videos, knowing the way I film. But now I know this is just going to be one vlog and not so much about what I was doing on my trip, because I felt like since my little girl and I both got so sick, we really did get robbed of some of our time together. So then when we were finally feeling better, I just wanted to put the camera down and enjoy myself. And man, this has been an incredible trip, and I'm so happy that I was able to create the memories that I have created. I mean, it's kind of like finding the silver lining, right? Or looking at it glass half full. It's super sad and unfortunate that we both got so sick, but it led to a pretty incredible trip, honestly. And there'll be plenty of time to be back out here filming stuff. The next goal is going to be back out here on the September long weekend, Labor Day. Hopefully I will have the boat parts to fix the issue. We got the steering cable laid out here, gonna measure it. And yeah, hopefully those parts can come in time, and then we can get the boat on the water in September, because that's one thing I really missed about this trip. Is it a crack? Silicone. But no, at the end of it, like most things, I'm very thankful that I got this time with my little girl. It definitely wasn't what was planned or what was expected, but it turned into a very awesome vacation with her. And I honestly probably wouldn't change a darn thing. So for now, I'm gonna leave this one there. Just go out there, be happy, be creative, be yourselves, and most importantly, be positive. What's uh-oh? I'll see you all in the next one, and I will see you all in the next one.